I was a founding member of Decriminalize Denton along with two other individuals. And really, it was founded out of necessity. City Council in Denton had two separate opportunities to pass an ordinance that was nearly identical to ours to decriminalize marijuana in the city, and on both occasions, City Council failed to do that. And so it was at that point where local activists and organizers and leaders decided to come together, start an organization, and do the job for City Council themselves. And so it was an organization built out of necessity for, one specific cause. Ever since the ordinance was passed, city staff wrote a memo essentially stating that they didn't have the legal authority to fully implement the ordinance. And so they would follow up at a later time to see what they could and could not enforce. I mean, on election night, when the results came in for Proposition B, it was a bunch of mixed feelings because, on one hand, it was uneventful and unsurprising because I knew that common sense progressive policies attracted everyone from the far left to the far right and everyone in between. And so it was humbling to see that in real time, just to see how overwhelming the results were. But it was also filled with concern and worry about what was going to come next. How was the chief of police going to try and push up against that? And what kind of harm would be caused because of their pettiness. And so, yeah, it was somehow this weird mix of emotions of concern and excitement and humility all at the same time. Again, it's no surprise to me that city staff and the police department are pushing back on the ordinance because they want to profit off of incarcerating people for low-level amounts of marijuana. I mean, that's how our police department wants to choose to profiteer off of its citizens. I mean, the mayor of Denton just made a pitch to city council just on this previous week, encouraging an increase of 15% funding, despite the fact that they already got an additional $2 million worth of funding last year and $2 million more the year prior to that. And so city officials want to do whatever they can to further militarize our police. That's what they want to do. Liberals and conservatives on council all like to bootlick, and so them pushing back on this is just further evidence of that. Decriminalize Denton doesn't necessarily have a clear path forward on how to get this implemented, so there are a few different angles that we can take. We could choose to file a lawsuit against the city for not enforcing an ordinance that's on the books. One thing that we're currently doing is meeting with the city manager, the assistant city manager, and the city attorney, talking to them about the ordinance and trying to find a path forward with them. Ultimately, though, this is a political decision. It's a political decision by the city manager not to enforce it. It's a political decision by the chief of police not to enforce it. And it's a political decision by the city council to not force the hand of the city manager to do her job. It's a difficult time because we are emboldened and discouraged at the same time. But, at the end of the day, we're on the winning side, and we know that ultimately we're going to get what we want because it's what the people of Denton want. And so it's just a matter of how long it's going to take. And so right now, really, it's this warning that we've been nonstop providing to City Council right now, which is that there are consequences for your actions. And so if you continue to prevent progress from happening in this city, we'll remove you from office. We have the support and the history to demonstrate that we're capable of doing that, and we're going to focus on doing that moving forward.